Hey everybody, welcome to Matt Men, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Andrew Zarin. I'm joined by the one, the only, my companion on this pro wrestling journey, Rich Stambolian.
Hell to the effing yeah. What's going on, Andrew?
My dog is losing his mind because somebody is at my stairs.
Is it me?
There's nobody there.
Because that's the only way your dog loses his mind is when I show up at your house.
Yeah, dude, I don't know why. It's not that he doesn't like you. He just likes to bark at you and stare at you.
Yeah, he barks at me and then he'll calm down and I'll pet him and he'll be cool. And then all of a sudden he'll remember like, oh, I got to bark at this guy. And then he'll go effing bananas.
Yeah, he just wants to bark at you.
He thinks I'm the Slender Man.
You are. You know what? You might be the Slender Man. What a fun internet creepypasta Slender Man.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I like the Slender Man stuff. I can get behind that story. He's a spooky guy that looks like this.
Yeah. Very tall and thin, like a blur.
Beautiful. He's a beautiful man. Tall and thin. This show is all about professional wrestling. Cadillac Carson goes, hey, Andrew, love the hat. Look at this. It's an awesome hat.
That's a great hat. EC Dubs, baby.
EC Dubs. I'm wearing all my merch today for everybody.
Are you gonna slam a beer can into your forehead later?
Yeah, and I'm gonna bleed everywhere. So something that the boys didn't think about is the lower third positioning here.
Right.
Do you see what's happening here?
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it before.
Can you correct that while we do the show?
No.
I can turn it. Well, yeah, I'll
turn off the Matt Men logo. You can turn off the Matt.
Yeah, just make it real big. Just make it big. Cover both of our faces.
Yeah. Where do you want to begin, Rich? It was an interesting week of pro wrestling. Obviously, Jade signs with WWE. Tony had a lot to say. There's a PLE tonight, Saturday. There's a pay-per-view on Sunday. Where do you want to go?
Very interesting. Let's start with the news that has already happened. Jade Cargill signs a multi-year contract with WWE. ESPN reported it Tuesday, and she also reported to the Performance Center that day. And this is something we've talked about for quite some time, right? If there was any female on that roster who could use that WWE bigness to make her even more of an attraction, it was Jade Cargill, right?
Yeah, I was told point blank. There were other names too. There were said to me that they really had, they like a lot. Jade was the one.
Yeah.
What are we doing on our screen?
Who's hitting the comments and the buttons?
I'm not.
Which one of you is it?
We know which one.
Is it the Count of Monte Cristo from his prison?
Yeah, it's the Count of Monte Cristo from his prison.
I was grabbing my Bluetooth mouse out of my backpack, and
and you know what, dude? He goes to me. He's like, right before we started the show, Jonathan, one of our producers here. He's like, hey, do I sound like crap on my AirPods? I'm like, dude, those are bootleg AirPods. I don't know AirPods that sound like that.
He got AirPods.
He got AirPods. So, I mean, listen, I was told this. We spoke about it. The reason why they were so into her is that she's a complete act, right?
Yes.
You look at her, she's complete. They don't need to up her look, up her, presentation. She has it. And obviously they're going to up it a little bit because it's WWE. Everything is bigger there. But I mean, I can't see this going wrong. And I don't want to say that too many times, but she is very impressive when you look at her. Very, very impressive. Nice dominant run in AEW. You know what? For WWE, they used AEW really well as a nice developmental system for Jade now.
100%. And eyes were kept on her like big time. Also, check this out. So you played yourself in the chat, made a very good point. They have to nail her theme music.
Oh, yeah, they have to.
They have to nail her theme music. And you know what? Don't bite my head off here. What if they did a modified version of Bobby Roode's Glorious theme for her?
I don't know. I think they could do something pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
I think they could do something really cool here.
Got to be big.
Got to be big. How do I turn this off now? Oh, did you pull it up, Rich?
No, I didn't.
I got it.
It's one of these guys.
It's very okay. No, let me do the show, please. let me just get through the next hour, please. Thank you.
He's guys.
I told
MG
you.
Jonathan, Andrew's on a ledge right now.
You have no idea, my dad. You know what it is? He thinks he's the maestro. He's just slamming on keys.
Bum, 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 bum.
ESPN reported on Tuesday morning that she was reporting to the Performance Center that day. WWE spent the rest of the day pumping up her debut, her WWE signing on social media. In an interview that she did with Ringer later that day, she said that she already knew what brand she's going to. Where should she go? SmackDown?
You know what? I think she would be a tremendous asset on SmackDown. Friday Night SmackDown. You have Jade Cargill debuting. Now, does she make her debut at the Rumble and then go from there? Does she win the Rumble?
Oh,
WWE
man.
hasn't done something like that in a very long time,
Dude,
right?
you know what? I got to say, that would be something, right? First time you debut her at the Rumble. I think she'll probably debut before, though, no?
If you want to put the bigness on her, right? Like from the get, have her debut at the Rumble, have her win the Rumble, and then boom, she's in a WrestleMania already. And she wins she doesn't have to win the Raw title. She can win the SmackDown Women's title. And I think you make that big statement, do the Cody treatment, but with Jade.
You know what? That's a great idea. I really
Thank you.
like that idea. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, so Jade's there. After the original WWE releases last week, there were tremendous releases happening. Matt Riddle was released on Saturday. Matt's interesting. Matt, very interesting release for them. He kind of went kooky with that TSA agent accusation, but he's had a rough couple years.
Did you see that one coming or no?
Yes and no, because he's had some issues there. He went through some personal issues. He that statement that he made about being sexually assaulted by a TSA agent at JFK did not sit well with people in WWE, especially on the Endeavor side, considering now this is not just WWE that's responsible for things. You have multiple arms here. I think it just, you cut him loose and you hope for the best.
Oh, yeah.
But where does he go? What does he do?
Comes back at the Rumble.
Comes back at the Rumble.
I would say...
Yeah, go.
Go ahead.
No,
New Japan would be great, but again, I get that Impact feeling. If Impact could afford him, they could throw their top title on him easily.
But see, you're not saying AEW. Why?
I just don't. I feel like AEW's, as much as I love AEW, I feel like that roster is super bloated and he would get lost in the shuffle. I also feel like he wouldn't really fit in. For some reason in my head, I'm like, AEW is not Matt Riddle country.
I don't know. If you add Riddle there and Edge shows up too, right? Does that impact your business to some extent? How does that help your business? Obviously Edge is going to have, if he does go there, right? We don't know. But if Edge is going there, obviously that'll do something. Very big, recognizable name from one of the biggest periods in the industry will go a long way for you. You don't have too many of these guys left. Orton, right? Orton, Cena, him, that are actively still at the top. A Batista.
Yeah.
It just, some of these obviously are unrealistic, but if you have an opportunity to get someone like Edge, you kind of want to do that. Riddle is an interesting get. Fantastic wrestler. I don't think he ever wrestled to his full potential in WWE in any capacity. We had seen him on the indies, and this guy was, I always equate Matt Riddle's WWE run to how Nakamura's run went. He had a handful of unbelievable top-level matches, but they just didn't present them in the same way.
Also, Riddle didn't win the big belt. Nakamura did at one point.
No,
Nakamura had the...
He never had
He had the WWE Championship. Yeah, he did.
Did he?
No, he did.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
He never did.
Are you sure?
Against AJ.
He didn't have one of them?
No.
Oh my God, I'm 100%
He had the U.S.
positive
title.
that-
He had the U.S. title and
The
the
US
IC
title, okay.
Yeah, and the IC.
I could have
Yeah.
sworn
The
he
NXT.
had
No,
one of the
they
belts
never
Maybe
told
thinking-
me.
for a month and then dropped it to AJ.
No. I wish they did that. See, maybe the multiverse that you're in, that happened. And it was a better run. It was a much better run for him.
Stay tuned. 'Cause I think it might be happening. So.
Well, I hope so. New Japan, MLW, CMLL announced a strategic alliance. The question is, how might this change AEW relationship? I don't think it'll change it at all.
No, they're very open and loosey-goosey.
Yeah. WWE announces new media rights deal for Japan starting in October. They're going to be on, I don't know how to say this, ABEMA. ABMA? It'll start carrying. Close enough.
Did you make that up, MG?
Yeah, I think
No,
he did.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay. He meant ABC.
Abema.
Abema. Abema.
Abema.
Abema. Sima. Who got the keys to my Bema?
There you go. You nailed it.
It'll air Raw, SmackDown, NXT, along with WWE PLEs.
Cool.
This is the first time since 2021 WWE had television in Japan. NXT will not run NXT Deadline from... Okay. I need some spaces here. NXT will run NXT Deadline from Bridgeport, Connecticut, December 9th. So this was hysterical. So I texted the group, right? The Matt Men production group. Hey, NXT's running a show in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Can you guys make a graphic for this? I'm going to drop it on Tuesday or Wednesday. And everybody scrambled. They got the graphics done. And MG in the chat goes, hey, did we announce this? Did we break this? And I'm like, oops, I totally forgot.
Oops, you did it again.
Yeah, they're going to be doing NXT. So interesting. December 9th, they're running a pay-per-view. They're running a lot of
They did one similar
running
time
a lot of
last
shows.
year.
Yeah, that's all right.
Last year
Cool.
they did one similar.
I'm sure it'll
Cool.
be great. Bryan Danielson told the New York Post that he is now fully cleared for his match at WrestleDream. The stipulation match against Ricky Starks were designed to protect his arm.
Great.
He also mentioned. All right, yeah, I thought that was smart. SmackDown last week did 2.227 million viewers on Friday episode featuring AJ Styles being taken out by the Bloodline and John Cena appearing. LA Knight tested for COVID, tested for positive. LA Knight tested positive for positive and didn't appear. Edge's contract will expire tomorrow. So,
Listen,
yeah.
Edge. Let's talk about this. MG, did you post that graphic that you made yesterday with the poll on would Edge Adam Copeland show up on AEW TV at WrestleDream this Sunday? Saturday?
I don't know if
Saturday
we
or
did.
Sunday?
It's Sunday.
It's Sunday.
It might be
okay.
scheduled.
Yeah.
In your opinion, Andrew,
Yeah.
does Adam Copeland, Edge, do something with AEW, or is he not allowed to?
I have no clue. This is actually either he's not, or this is one of the best kept secrets in AEW history.
Yeah.
I'll say that. I mean, I have not heard a peep. Nothing. So, listen, I like being surprised.
Same here.
I love when that happens because, you know, you sometimes something is so, and if I'm surprised, a lot of other people are surprised, and it kind of helps with the thing. You know, nobody's breaking this news. I would love to see him there. I think AEW could utilize him. Him and Christian, automatically, there's something there, right?
Yep.
You could do something interesting to start him out, and then him and Jericho could have a match, him and Omega, him and Danielson. I mean, you could do so many really unique matches for that company that'll get eyeballs. Him and Moxley.
Top 5. Give me your top 5 Edge matches that you want to see in AEW if he jumps over.
Him and Mox.
Okay.
Him and Danielson, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Christian, but just because of the nostalgia, I want to see it.
Okay.
I also want to see him and Jeff Jarrett for some reason.
Yes, I agree with that.
I want to go back to 1998 Velocity or whatever show that would have been that they would have probably wrestled on. Edge and Sting.
That was going to be one of my top 5. Edge and Sting, I think, would be a glorious, glorious match. And Edge and like an Edge and Dana Garcia also sounds good. Edge and Omega, like you were saying. Edge and Malachi.
Edge and Malachi. That's another great one. Edge and Swerve in the chat with James.
Oh my God. Yeah.
He's so good. You could do something really cool with him.
I got an off the off the shoot one that might be a little off.
Him and Britt Baker's
different.
not happening.
Orange Cassidy.
Him and Orange, okay. Him and MJF. Him and Jay White.
Oh my God, yeah.
Two lanky dudes. That could be their tag team.
Lank it up.
Lank it up, baby.
Well, also, if Edge jumps over, you are 100% for sure going to get some kind of dream match within a year where it's Edge and Christian versus the Bucks versus the Hardys versus FTR.
Oh,
right?
dude, yeah. You know what? And fantastic. You could do a TLC match. Here you go. Okay?
Oh, geez.
You do a TLC match for the titles. Edge and Christian, the Hardys, and the Bucks.
Oh, yeah.
Done. It writes itself.
Edge Ospreay, and like it's endless. You know, it's like the dream matches this dude would bring to the company are endless. And you know what? Guess what? This makes up for the CM Punk nonsense if they get Edge, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If this makes all the sense. I mean, this is a great replacement for him. You know, it's a recognizable name, contract year. You know, he's a total professional, Edge. So you know, if you could afford him, I would spend that money for sure. Brand recognition. We got this guy now. I think it's very interesting. And then we'll go into this WrestleDream end of an era, beginning of a new one thing also when we talk about this. Some quick Raw notes. Shinsuke Nakamura announced a stipulation with his title match against Seth Rollins. It's a last man standing match. WWE does a great job at last man standing matches.
Well, they do. They really do.
That's like their thing. They're really good at that in Rumbles. Has anybody put on a Rumble that is at the level of a top 5 Royal Rumble?
Oh, that's a very good question. That's a pointed question. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say one of my favorite Rumbles was the original one from the first All In.
Whatever that Battle Royal was?
Whatever that Battle Royal was really well done.
Well, what was the last one they did, MG? Remember we watched that last one? We're like, this is the best one that they've ever done?
Oh, God.
AEW's. It was the one with Big Bill in the end, right?
Yes, that yeah, I forgot when that happened, but that was pretty phenomenal.
That was a casino. Was that a casino battle royale?
Might have been.
But whatever that was the best one that I had seen outside of WWE.
Well, they just did the death match, which is their version of it on Collision this last week with Danielson and Ricky Starks. Maybe that's what you're thinking of.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about they do their death match is last man standing.
No.
One second.
Okay. Go ahead.
Me?
Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Explain to him what we're talking about and what he is on a fucking ISDN line connecting to the studio apparently with tremendous latency.
MG, I know you got a lot on your plate.
Okay.
We were talking about best Rumbles and Royal Rumbles.
Oh. Okay, sorry. I got
no mention of any death matches.
This is the worst morning zoo I've ever heard in my life.
He wishes that we were talking about CZW.
Dude,
he wants to bleed his forehead open right now with a pencil.
He's like, we're talking. I'm like, hey guys, here's a question. Here's a bit, right? We're doing radio. We're doing a bit. What outside of WWE is there anything that could be considered a top 5 Rumble? Because everybody's done a version of this. And I'm like, hey, what was the one with Big Bill about a month or so ago? And he's like, you're mistaking with the death match.
AEW
totally missed.
I'm just bleeding.
I apologize.
Thank you.
If you put the camera on MG right now, he's got the crimson mask, but it's of his own doing.
Dude, why is your blood
like
green?
Moxley.
Why are you bleeding green, dude? That's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that. Dominic Mysterio defeated Dominic Mysterio defeated Dragon Lee to retain the North American title. It was such a good match. Great match.
That was great.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to see both those guys. Dominic and Dragon Lee will make me come back to NXT.
Yeah. And Tommaso Ciampa defeated Kaiser to get an IC championship match against Gunther at Fastlane. NXT No Mercy coming up on Saturday. You want to go through this card, Rich? While I drown myself?
It looks like while you what?
Drown myself. Give me a couple.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Get the toaster. Baron Corbin versus Braun Breaker I'm excited about that. You have the NXT Heritage Cup champion Noam Dar defends against Butch. Should be a fun match. This looks like a good card, to be honest. NXT Tag Team Champion Tony D'Angelo and Stax defend against Bronco Nima and Luchin Prince. The Creed Brothers and Angel and Umberto in a fatal four-way. North American Champion Dominic Mysterio defends against Trick Williams. Dragon Lee will be the special guest referee. I'm going to tune in specifically for that. That sounds like an awesome match. And Extreme Rules match, NXT Women's Champion Becky Lynch defends against Tiffany Stratton. Another good one. And your main event, NXT Champion Carmelo Hayes defends against Ilya Dragunov. Does Dragunov win? And does Carmelo get bumped to the main roster?
Yo, Carmelo's great.
Carmelo is great. I think they need a little injection on a Raw or SmackDown by like a character like Carmelo.
Yeah. I would hope so. I think Carmelo's great. I think Braun is great. NXT's been very good. I unfortunately don't get enough time to sit there and watch it every week, but it's every time I turn it on. I'm behind. I have to watch this week's, obviously. But it's been really good. It's a nice, fun show. You know what I think, though? If it was still 1 hour, how would we feel about this?
Listen, like
I would probably watch more.
Like, apart from that heyday era of like Bobby Roode and Adam Cole and the other dudes, like I'm losing what their name was. Not Evolution. Yeah, see, can't think of it.
The Undisputed Era?
Yeah, Undisputed. Yeah. That 2 hour block of programming was phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
But I think they should have went back to 1 hour. We probably would have liked it more because you can cram so much into that 1 hour to make it very entertaining. I feel like personally, there's a reason we don't catch up with it like we used to, is because I feel like there's a good amount of fluff on it.
I also do you binge watch like you used to? Like I remember like back in like 2016, 17 when we were doing the show, I would binge watch like 3 episodes of NXT and I would catch
Same here.
Or I would binge watch something on the network. I don't have life changed and I don't have that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's almost impossible.
It's so I'll present to you an interesting example, right? So the other day I was like, all right, I'm giving myself some wrestling time, right? This is my time to watch wrestling and catch up on wrestling, right? Do I watch an NXT or do I watch a documentary, right? Put on the Kurt Angle documentary. Unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
Last night, I was like, all right, I got some time. Let me see what else I could watch. Do I watch NXT or do I watch the Flair documentary that I haven't seen? And I watched the Flair documentary, so I feel like it goes, you're probably in the same boat where you're like, all right, I want to dedicate a certain amount of time to wrestle watching. What do I watch? And NXT doesn't I feel like it never reaches that level.
Impact, NXT, it's hard.
Yeah.
5 hours of AEW, 5 hours of WWE. That's 10 hours of wrestling. And then
plus New Japan.
Plus New Japan, plus
Ring of
else.
Honor. Yeah,
I'm trying.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm pretty caught up now, but I'm trying. Sometimes I fall very behind. Let's talk about Tony Khan's WrestleDream media call. I should have called in.
You should have.
You know what? French Tony Khan should call in and talk to him.
You know what? I was away, and I came back the other day, and I'm trying to get back to being human again.
Yeah.
So
you went to Clearwater. You were hanging and banging at Hogan's Beach Club, right?
I was hanging, banging, and clanging at Hogan's Beach Club. It was a very surreal experience seeing all the Hogans that you did mention come to life at night when the lights go off.
Hey, dude, Rich went back there. I'm going to tell you, at Hogan's Beach Club, right? I'm going to tell you a secret. Rich was like, I want to get to the bottom of this. I want to see what goes on here after midnight. He showed up there. It's like all these Hogans, like these giant figures of life-size Hogans. And then there's like a Jimmy Hart cutout. And all of a sudden, Rich is looking, and the lights are flickering, and Jimmy Hart comes alive, and he's like Jiminy Cricket. He just casts a spell on all the Hogans, and they come alive. But they're all like zombies. They're all like Frankensteins, and they're like, whoa, they're just roaming around. It's terrifying.
It was a surreal experience being in the store, apart from everything coming to life. But it's not as big as you think it would be, but he's got so much stuff everywhere, and it's all signed. And I gotta say, guy produces a soft T-shirt. Like all those T-shirts, I was very impressed with the softness. I'm a big fan of the soft T-shirts.
He took too many chops to the nips. They're very sensitive. He needs soft cotton.
The hotel we stayed at one of our waitress one night was like, "Hey, you know, Hulk Hogan sat in the seat a few weeks ago, like right next to where you're sitting." And I was like, "Really?" He was like, "I'm a big wrestling fan. Like, what happened? What's the deal?" She was like, "He didn't smile, and he really just wanted to get out of here. He wanted to eat and go." I was like, "All right, fair enough."
Poor guy.
Fair enough.
Do you think, what would you do? Like, you're just sitting there in Clearwater, Hogan shows up. Tank top, shorts, flip flop, do rag.
Oh, tank top, shorts, flip flop. Me or him, or both of us are dressed the same.
Both of you are dressed the same.
Vacation Rich does rock a do-rag. You know, I feel
Better
like
than
I would
MJ and
try-
his Rasta hat, dude. That thing is
Oh,
offensive.
It's very offensive. It's
Dude,
like,
when we went to All Out in 2021, he put it on, and he's like, every time, like, you would say something to him, and he goes, "Jamaican me crazy." It was terrible.
it was really. I started trying to do the accent and everything. We were like, "Guy, you got to stop, man! Don't let anybody hear you do this." He was like, "I'm living me truth, man."
Living me truth.
So
I got the sillies today, boys and girls.
got the sillies, baby. So
Yeah, what would you
go
do?
ahead.
You just sit there. You would definitely go and talk to him. You would have to.
I would do some body language shit. I'd probably like try to give him a head nod and motion to him like, "Hey, could I come over there and talk to you?" And it would be very succinct. I'd be like, "Hey, listen, thank you, big fan," and ask him something about Clearwater. Like, what made you live? What makes you like? Why do you want to live? Like, why do you live here? As a part, you could live anywhere in the world. Why Clearwater?
And then he gives you a very inappropriate response that would get him on TMZ getting canceled.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And then I turn sheet white and disappear.
Just, you fade like it's Back to the Future.
I just fade out. Hogan disappoints me and offends me so much that I just fade out.
But unfortunately, you're still wearing the Hogan do-rag, so that's a little bit of a problem.
What would you do if you were somewhere vacation, Andrew?
Hogan? Oh
Yeah.
man, I would have to run up and act like an idiot, you know?
Schmooze him up, yeah?
Yeah. I would have to go and start talking to him.
Would you try to get him on the show?
No, I wouldn't ask him anything. I wouldn't ask him.
So I do a wrestling podcast, you know.
I do a wrestling
And,
podcast. I don't want to do your podcast. He turns into Jerry Lawler.
Then I would definitely fade away.
Let's talk about Tony Khan's WrestleDream media call.
Yes.
Tony was vague on Adam Cole's status, but now we kind of know because he broke his foot, tore stuff. I thought that segment went on a little too long. That beginning segment with Cole and Max and everything.
MJF on the boat.
Yeah, I thought the whole thing was a little too long. He was vague about that. He wished Jade the best, but didn't elaborate on contract negotiation with her. He also addressed the rumors of him buying New Japan, saying he didn't know where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Facebook post.
Yeah.
And I have no idea. And do you know, I got bombarded, dude. I got bombarded.
I'm sure.
I pulled a Vince Russo there with my dude, and it wasn't a bro, but I said it as if it could have been a bro. I got bombarded, bro. People were asking me like, "Oh, he's buying New Japan." I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I find it, you know, listen, in Japan, they're very big on not selling their companies to American companies.
Yeah.
Okay. When Noah was actively trying to purchase Stardom and Noah, I mean, I was told from the beginning of this that Noah was using them for leverage and had no intention whatsoever to ever sell to them. And WWE very much wanted it because they were talking at that time, they were talking about, you know, NXT Japan. There was a rumor that Nakamura would be the guy for it, and they would have a lot of the talent stay in Japan, and they would train all these people. Whatever they were doing then. I can't see I can't see them selling to an American company. Also, why would Tony want to buy them?
Right.
You know, like, you got to also think about that. Like, okay, that's cool that he would buy, like, the archives, the library, for him to own. I don't think he would end up owning all the library because I think New Japan has a relationship with, what is it, Asha? Right? And they do, like, a split. It's part ownership for a lot of the content. They don't own everything fully.
Now, could Tony Khan possibly buy a stake in New Japan?
I mean, why would he? They don't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
They make enough for what they are, but they're not in a good position. Their library is a little scattered. Obviously they have key things there, but they also have a strategic partnership with them that they benefit from all this stuff. Like, I would much rather tell, I don't know how much of a value it would be for Tony, but obviously I don't think this is happening. I think this is just an internet rumor. Talking about rumors, this was fascinating.
Yeah.
Dave Meltzer asked about WBD having a stake and ownership in AEW. Tony's response was not a no. I got to find that exact quote. If anybody could find that quote for me. He said, Tony controls, I'm trying to find this because I was communicating with somebody about this and I can't find it now. Essentially, he said that he has 100% control of the company and decision-making and all that. He could still be in charge of that. I don't know. I don't think Dave didn't ask that question out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I got it if you want.
I'll say, yeah, what was the quote?
He said, Khan said he would be open to conversations with partners like WBD, but wants to remain in control of decision-making and voting. So he wants 100% control still.
But he did say that's yeah. But the way he also said it, he said that he has 100% ownership and control and decision making.
Yes.
Again, Dave did not pull this out of nowhere. Off the record. I mean, I've spoken to you about this.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to listen. I'm not going to be the one that starts a rumor like that. But
right.
I've also, is it possible? Sure. Is it possible that WBD has some sort of stake? It's possible. Is it possible they don't? Yeah, I think that's possible. But I don't want to speculate on something like this. I want to know for sure whether if WBD has, a 10% stake or a 20% stake or 30% stake, you can negotiate that. What does that mean? It can mean a lot of things. It could mean, it could be for media rights reasons. It could be for expandability reasons. It could be to use the WBD arm in a different way. I don't know. I haven't seen any kind of paperwork or structure set in place, but is it possible? Yeah, I think it's very possible. Do I know for sure? No. Have I heard rumors? Yeah, of course. Have I heard it from TV people? Yeah, of course.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm not going to report something I don't know. I only report things that I've seen or been told in confidence.
Right.
Not a lackadaisical, like, oh yeah, maybe, sort of, kind of,
I mean, there's a lot of guys who maybe sort of, kind of, but
well, we deal with a lot of those guys. We see a lot of those guys where they I don't like reporting and with speculation, right? Like, I'm very dry when I report something, and that's for a reason. I want it to be dry. I don't want to add more or fill in blanks if I don't know it. Tony also mentioned that he never said that AEW will be moving to one pay-per-view a month. This is a direct response to my report. He isn't sure what the right number is. He said it could be 6 to 8. And saying that there's more appetite for AEW content. Yeah, Tony never said it. Yeah. I did. I said it. And why would Tony say it? Listen, do I believe they're gonna have 12 pay-per-views a year or around 12? Yes. Does that include Ring of Honor? When I was told this, I was told this by somebody that is non-wrestling, that they're going to have, around 12 pay-per-views a year. When I had a conversation with someone that would know more, they kind of alluded that, Ring of Honor is in their mindset when they talk about pay-per-views.
Right.
When they set up a pay-per-view schedule, Ring of Honor is in mind. It's not like Ring of Honor's plugged in and they double up on these. And I was corrected multiple times because last week on the show, I got a correction from somebody. Somebody messaged me after our show last week and said, "Hey, you're wrong. We did have a pay-per-view in July."
Oh, very interesting. Okay.
And I said, really, what was it? It goes Ring of Honor. So
There you go.
If you look at this, right, and we're talking about 2022 without the plan of expanding, into a monthly pay-per-view structure. You had a February pay-per-view, right, with Revolution. You had, what was the next one? You had Double or Nothing, right? You had Forbidden Door, All In, All Out, WrestleDream, Full Gear. Yep. Okay, that's 7. 8, 9, 10, 11 if you add 4 Ring of Honor pay-per-views.
Sure.
12 if you have that December pay-per-view be an AEW pay-per-view and not a Ring of Honor pay-per-view. I know the date for that pay-per-view, for the December pay-per-view. And it's a very odd date. Okay? So it makes me kind of lean that it's a Ring of Honor show. It's the date that I have, and it's the 29th of December, which is a Friday.
Right. So you think that would just be like a year-end Ring of Honor show?
Or it could be a year-end AEW show. I would imagine it's a Ring of Honor now that I'm kind of thinking about this, but I was told that there is a pay-per-view on that day. And I was never told Ring of Honor. I was told AEW, but again, it came from someone that is not, he's on the media side.
Would you prefer either one, or would you prefer like a joint pay-per-view?
I want to well, I told you where I think this is going to be.
Right.
And I don't know. It's I'm going to wait on this a week.
Further information
Andrew,
to come.
Can I throw something in here real quick?
Yeah.
So usually the December pay-per-view for ROH is Final Battle.
Yes.
That's the one. So if it is an ROH one, that's what it is. And they usually did run those on Fridays, so I don't know. So
listen, that's why it makes sense. Process of elimination also comes into play, but the location is interesting.
Yes, very much. Very interesting.
Because of the timing.
Yeah.
I will say that it is a very interesting date to run this location if I could confirm it with one more person.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to call Tony. Hey, Tony.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Hey, Tony, you running the garden? He's not running the garden. I'm joking.
You're on a first name basis, right?
I call him Tone.
Oh, you're like, AT.
Hey,
AT, I think you should run Ring of Honor.
And you know what he calls me? He calls me Carmella. It's weird.
Does he breathe really heavy into the phone? AT, I think you should run Ring of Honor in Manhattan at some point.
Nah, we got Darby out.
MSG.
We're not talking about that anymore. He does that. We're not talking about that anymore. You know what scene I'm talking about? I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Poor Vito. He said with streaming services. Okay, so it would likely be packaged into their next TV deal. He said he wants to stay with WBD as long as he can. I would be shocked if they don't stay with WBD. I would be very, very shocked. I think we're just waiting on things to finalize.
Yeah.
As far as I know, as far as I also know, the pay-per-view functionality of whatever they are doing, I have not heard any kind of progress on this. So I don't know if that means that they're not going to offer this pay-per-view functionality on Max, and it's just going to be, whatever you sign up for the package, and that's your monthly fee. Or,
I discovered something this week, by the way, and I think I mentioned in our group chat. Max is now.
You know what it is? He discovered that you can't dig to China.
Try as you might.
So Max is doing like news now, all live programming on there now, and a lot of live shows. So they are getting there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're getting there. They're adding stuff. They're adding live, but I'm not talking about live. Live is easy. The pay-per-view functionality is the pain in the butt.
Right, exactly.
Gotcha.
That's the annoying part of this. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, also, I'm sure a lot of you guys are gonna have questions about this, so we're gonna quickly go into fast mode here, so we can do a couple Q&As, and you guys could ask these questions. Dynamite. Ray Phoenix defeated Jeff Jarrett. He got hurt in this match. He was able to get a small package and a roll up onto Jeff Jarrett. MJF and Adam Cole go fishing in Long Island. Where do you think they were?
Definitely North Shore.
Oh, 100% North Shore. MJF would never
Definitely
dare
North
go
Shore.
to that dirty, dirty South Shore.
Yeah, definitely North Shore. I want to say probably the easiest place to do it would probably be somewhere in Great Neck.
I'm thinking like Cold Spring Harbor. Harbor. He's in Port Jeff. He could be in Port Washington.
Could be in
Cold
Port
Spring
Washington.
Harbor. I don't think he went all the way to the Hamptons.
No, definitely
He didn't go to Montauk. I think he's in Cold Spring Harbor. It's my grandfather used to take me.
Hey, Cold Spring Harbor's nice. Adam
and then
Cole,
we would see Billy Joel just crying. It was a whole thing. My boat Alexa. He would do this whole thing.
And I think the best part about this bit was Captain Insano showing up.
Captain Insano. They caught him.
They caught him.
He's going to have a match. Captain Insano will have a match. somewhere.
I'm excited about that. Yeah, give me Captain Insano versus Mark Henry.
MJF, they went fishing. They teased MJF hitting him with the ring from behind. Adam Cole got a bite. It turned out it was Captain Insano. All right, funny bit. Don Callis and Takeshita welcome Sammy Guevara as a third member of the family. They showed footage from Tokyo where they attacked Ibushi in his dojo. Nick Jackson. Yeah, go ahead.
Now, let me ask you something. Was it just me, or was that shot of them in Tokyo horribly green screened?
It was not green screen, but I know what you mean.
It seemed like they were keyed out, and
were they?
It just, you could, yeah, and I feel like you could see the feathering underneath their arms.
Are you sure?
I'm almost positive. I'm just saying, I don't want to like spread anything.
I think you're spreading a rumor that I'm very interested in now.
I feel like production wise, to my eyes, I felt like they were keyed out, not in the best way possible. You know, I think that was just a screen, and they were in front of, they were superimposed and not keyed out properly.
Yeah, I gotta see that again. Because I think it's actual footage. Maybe it was your Spectrum acting up.
I think it may have been, but I think Coda's in the States. I don't think they filmed a bit in Japan just to come back here. You know what I mean?
Well, they were having technical issues all night with the broadcast, so maybe that was because I was getting pixelation here too. Funny things happening, so
sure,
maybe that was part of it.
That could have been it. Interesting. No, I think they were there. I think they went there for it.
Okay.
They showed footage. Nick Jackson defeated Brian Cage and Claudio to earn an AEW International title shot next week. MJF and Adam Cole in the rain, apparently, not the ring.
Wait,
in the rain.
Is this an MG fantasy?
It's an MG fantasy. He's writing fanfic. MJF and Adam Cole in the rain, and then they kiss each other's on the mouth.
Like Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man. MJF is upside down like Spider-Man.
Revealed that Adam Cole is injured and he needs surgery on his ankle. Instead of relinquishing the titles, MJF said he'll defend them solo on Sunday. Adam Cole's interrupted by Roderick Strong. Cole leaves the ring. Jay White shows up. I thought MJF was fine. I thought the promo went too long. Okay.
Between both of them?
Yeah.
Well, give me your feedback on that. How did you like both guys promoing against each other?
I thought MJF did a better job than Jay White.
I got this is just my own perception. I feel like MJF was a little bit nervous.
You think so?
I think so, just a little bit, because I feel like Jay White comes with a lot of prestige, you know, and this match could be like a make it or break it for MJF in a certain way, you know?
Yeah, this is an original versus an original, right? It's an odd pairing. I think it'll be fantastic. We'll see where it goes. We'll see what that ends up. You also had Orange Cassidy defeating Penta, Matt Jackson, and Austin Gunn. Julia Hart with Brody King defeated Willow Nightingale. Hangman Adam Page and Swerve did a contract signing. The big line was, what's a farmer to mogul? What's a bug shot? to a kill shot. Great line.
Oh, so good. So good.
So good.
I'm very
loving
excited about this match. They sold me hugely on this match.
So here's something interesting. At the end of the show, Jay White gets beat up backstage by what looks like MJF in the Devil's Mask. There were 5 assailants altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Who's behind the mask?
Okay. So I feel like everybody zeroed in on this being Retribution.
Oh, it's Ali coming back with it?
With all his guys, right? Now,
who said is that a reality? Could that be possible? I mean, it is possible that they could do something with Ali like that.
Legally, it's not.
Legally, it's not, but I think they're taking advantage of the circumstances to give it a little more oomph, right? Because you're like, oh, a bunch of guys just got released. What if we have a bunch of masked assailants and one guy in an MJF mask? Your mind is immediately going to go to like Ali, right? For some reason, that's the first thing I thought of, right?
Yeah.
Now, if that's the plan, great. And if they can cheat it for the next 90 days and keep something like this and then say, hey, you want to come do this thing? Awesome. But other than that, who do you think it might be?
Imagine it's CM Punk.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Everybody. They worked everyone. I don't know. I don't think the person that was behind the mask is actually who's behind the mask. I don't think that's true. I don't know. I don't know if it's somebody that they're bringing in. I don't know if it's someone that exists there already. I don't know. I'm very intrigued by this. I mean, could it be Edge? Are they alluding that it could be Edge? Is it Adam Cole?
Right.
Is it Britt Baker?
There you go.
We don't know.
Is it other Bullet Clubs?
Is it other Bullet? Yeah, you know what? It could be other Bullet Clubs. I think it's Adam Cole, MJF, Roderick, and the Kingdom all working together.
That would be kind of cool.
Edge to help Christian. Who do you guys think it is? Very interesting stuff. Let's do a preview to WrestleDream quickly, and then we'll do our questions. You want to run down this card?
Absolutely. So, WrestleDream Sunday, October 1st. We are getting a loaded ass card here. Ricky Starks versus Wheeler Yuta. Now, you want to do quick winner loser and then banger of a match?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ricky Starks versus Wheeler Yuta. I'm giving it to Starks.
I'm giving it to Starks as well.
I think that's going to be a great match. The Young Bucks versus the Guns versus Orange Cassidy and Hook versus the Lucha Brothers to earn a future AEW tag team title shot. I think this is going to be a classic 4-way tag match.
Who do you think takes it?
Bucks.
Okay.
I'm
going to go with the Guns.
Okay. Christian Cage and Darby Allin for the TNT title in a 2 out of 3 falls match. I think Christian wins with shenanigans.
Christian wins with shenanigans. Maybe Edge shows up. Is this the moment that he would do it?
Sure. It makes sense, right? But maybe they'll flip the script and then have something else happen. You know, Edge. Yeah. Does Edge help Darby?
Does Edge help Christian?
That would be fun.
Setting up Edge and Christian versus Darby and Sting, leading to a Sting and Edge match.
Oh boy.
Oh boy is right.
I'm tingling.
Very cool.
Eddie Kingston versus Shibata for the Ring of Honor World and NJPW Strong title. So he's putting 2 titles on the line against Shibata. I think
Shibata's not putting his pure title up.
It doesn't seem like it. I think Eddie's living his best life right now.
Eddie, I want that guy to have such a great couple of years. Yeah. I don't want that guy to get hurt. I want him to just enjoy all of this. He's worked so hard to get here, and he's fantastic.
I think Eddie takes it.
Great. Me too. Oh, yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah, Eddie takes it. Got it. I agree.
We have Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart with Brody King for the TBS title. This is going to be a fun one.
Who should take it?
I wouldn't mind Julia Hart holding that belt.
I would like to see Julia with it. Chris is the Chris reactions have kind of subtly dissipated. I feel like before her injury, she was on such like a great run.
Yeah, she was. Let's see. We got FTR versus Aussie Open for the AEW tag team titles. I think it's going to be a banger of a match. FTR. I'm going FTR.
I'm going to go Aussie Open.
Okay.
Change it up a little bit.
Sure. MJF versus The Righteous, Vincent and Dutch for the Ring of Honor tag team titles. MJF retains, right?
I'm going to go MJF loses.
Okay.
With shenanigans.
I'm going retains. With shenanigans.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, and Kota Ibushi versus Takeshita, Sammy Guevara, and Will Ospreay. Could this be match of the night?
It could be.
I'm thinking Jericho takes the pin.
I'm thinking Ibushi and Jericho don't get along.
Okay.
And it causes there to be something. And then that's the match, Ibushi and Jericho.
Okay. Hangman Page
I'm just fantasy
Swerve.
booking now. I don't know. I'm not alluding. Like some of these finishes I know, I'm not even alluding to it.
Yeah.
I'm just having fun here.
Just having fun, baby.
I don't want people to report this.
Andrew Zarian says Kota Ibushi and Chris Jericho hate each other.
That's a good.
Hangman Adam Page. That's a good headline. Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland.
This is a good match for Adam to kind of reset with. I think Swerve is fantastic. I think these two are going to have this may be the match of the night, to be honest.
Yeah. There's a lot of contenders for match of the night. And up next, another contender for match of the night, Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. Holy God, it's happening.
This is a dream match.
Total dream match.
Yeah. This is 100% a dream match.
Straight up wrestling.
Yeah. Love it. I'm so into this.
I feel like if this was the only match on the card for 3 hours, I'd still be into it.
Yeah. We say it all the
right,
time.
yeah.
I could watch Danielson wrestle for like an hour straight every single day. I'm fine with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally fine with it. I think these guys are going to put on a clinic. You know, this is going to be what do you call it? A backstage sellout?
A backstage sellout. Guys, we're going to go into our Q&A. But Rich, what do you want to talk about? You wanted to mention something here.
Oh, yeah. So we got a fun little thing for you. You know, we talk about comic books every so often on the show. I do a comic book podcast. Headlock Comic has a Kickstarter out. We're going to put the link in the chat and we're going to put the link in our notes. It's a great comic series that has a lot of like your modern favorites doing stories. Headlock's been out for a while. Go check it out, man. Like Mike Kingston, who is the creator of Headlock, has been doing this for years. He's a really hardworking dude. And the project is funded, but there's still a couple of days left to donate, and you can get your copy of some pretty great stuff, you know, especially like on a Kickstarter indie comic project. You can do worse. So go check it out, guys.
Yeah, this looks great. I'm looking at it right now.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Very cool. All right. Tales from the Road. I like this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's done like an old-timey comic, the covers.
Yeah. A lot of contributors on there too.
Yeah.
Who
cool.
Yeah.
All right, boys
Question?
and girls, go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say, let's do some questions, baby.
Let's do it. Let's do some questions, guys. Submit your questions in the chat. You want us to answer them immediately, hit the super chat button. Or get in line. All right, what do we have?
Okay. Who's doing the questions? Am I doing the questions or MG?
I think you should do it. I think you should do it. Okay. Please.
I'll do it. Okay. Jeez. All right. Let's see what we got here. We got a $4.99 here from Bachelor 3000. And he asks, should MJF use random honorary bro chachos to tag with him whenever he has to defend the tag belts?
I mean, what if Roddy comes out and defends it with him?
That would be funny, but so in that promo when they were on the boat, MJF said, I don't know what it's like to have more than one friend.
No, he's never had a friend, more than one.
Right. So I feel like he wouldn't, as interesting as it would be, like, actually, you know what? I'm going to say this. Imagine if Wardlow came out and helped MJF defend those titles.
Wow. That's
right?
Interesting, right?
Reuniting because I feel like Wardlow lost a little something when he went on his own.
Well, he lost something when he went on his own. He got hot, and then they did nothing.
Yeah.
And Tony did say that he's going to be on TV again soon. They're just working on. I don't know what the deal is here, but they're figuring it out. I don't know. I think he could. Yeah, Wardlow would be a good help. Adam, you could do something with Roddy and Adam. Getting involved somehow. There's a lot of options here. Or he loses it.
Yeah. Or I think he's going to maintain it. I feel like he needs to hold on to everything for a little bit longer, because like now that you have that big belt on him and the tag titles, that story's not over. Who would you get to dethrone MJF? What makes sense?
It has to be big, whatever they do.
Right.
And he's held the title for a while now. Jay White, if you want to go in that direction, you could go back to, he's a babyface now, so you got to also be selective on who he loses it to. Who's a dastardly heel that could outsmart MJF?
Jeff Jarrett.
There you go. That's your answer. Thank you.
Jay White's my pick. I think that would be great. But also, I think whoever takes the title off of MJF is not going to hold on to it for as long. I just get that feeling. I would love it to get to Swerve eventually within the next year. But that's just me.
They got to do Swerve right at the right time because it could become a huge thing for them.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
All right. We got Darren O'Toole, $2. Thanks, Darren.
$2. Thank you, dude.
$2. We got Cadillac Carson, $4.99. This is the best podcast ever. I must super chat about this. Thank you, Cadillac.
Carson.
Friend of the show, Cadillac Carson.
Friend of the show.
See what else we got here. Am I missing a super chat or did I get them all?
Might have got them all.
Okay. Let's see. This is from Armand. Any update about Kyle O'Reilly returning from injury?
I have nothing. I've asked. I don't have a date. Nobody's told me anything.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. This is from Hogan.
Hulk?
Speaking of Hulk Hogan, yeah. Brother, I saw you this weekend. Why didn't you say hi to me? This is from Hogan. Speaking of comics, what storylines matches would you like to see be translated to comic form? I feel like the Bloodline saga in comic form could do well. Bloodline, Bullet Club, NWO, DX. I feel like those all lend themselves
the
to
invasion.
The real invasion, though. Like if there was a comic, the only way you can get the invasion that we should have gotten is in a comic book. I'd be all for that.
Yeah. That invasion, I would go with our version of the invasion.
Yeah. Do you lose sleep at night about the invasion?
Yeah, dude. How do you F this up? You had it. You had the greatest moment to ever to have. You could have done all of them for one night. All those dream matches, you could have done it.
Long-time listeners will know.
Yeah. This one is from Fazb. Will Mercedes show up on WrestleDream?
She should. She's still hurt.
But she could be there.
She could be there. Yeah, I'd love for her to be there. I think they need to do something. She's a huge help for them.
Oh,
she goes there.
She was at Wembley, right?
She was, yeah.
She was at Wembley, so why not just have her like show up at the big events, kind of like what they used to do with the NXT Brooklyn shows, right?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
All right, let's see what we got here. Has there been an OG Bullet Club origin story comic? I want to say no. That's from ICU.
So
that would be really good.
Yeah.
This is a good one too. This is from Brian Knight. How many pay-per-views per year would be right for AEW? How about 8?
I think here's the thing, right? If you're going to do 8, you might as well do 12. It's people habits, right? People viewership habits. So if you do 9 or 10, you don't want to have a lull period. I mean, I guess you could have 11 if you're like 6 weeks out. Things happen like that. Sometimes that happens. But I would say if you're doing 6 or 7 or 8, you might as well do 12 because A, the revenue you're generating from pay-per-views. 2, the habit of knowing that you have a monthly pay-per-view for AEW, that goes a long way. It's psychology. this is why you don't like to change dates for shows. Monday Night Raw leaving Monday. What does that mean for the show? If that were to happen, it's people habits, and I think AEW doing 12 shows, I don't see a negative whatsoever. I don't get the negativity. I don't get the people that are saying, "Oh no, I only want 4 shows from them." Is it a time management thing? Is it a financial thing? I don't know. Right. If that's your reasoning, but if you're talking about, growth for a brand, and you're talking about the marketing of that brand, and you're talking about the revenue for that brand, how in the world would you not want to do 12 shows? If you can, if financially it makes sense for you. If it doesn't make sense for you as a company, and you have a reason, I understand that. But I'm going with 12. You want to be at the same level as everybody else. And we've seen there's been no time in history that people have added more pay-per-views and regretted it in the long run.
Exactly. Yeah.
WCW,
that's a very,
forget
very
about
good
that.
point.
But WCW, they went to 12 pay-per-views. They went to monthly pay-per-views, and it was tremendous for them. And same thing with WWE.
Yeah, that was hot too, because that was an era where you had like monthly pay-per-views from each company.
And then you had another one from ECW every couple months.
Wild.
So, yeah.
And people, you know what? Like, did you buy them all?
$150
a month.
No. You know what I had.
Yeah, my boy had the same thing. I used to go over to his house.
Here in Queens, everybody had this thing. You went to Queens Boulevard, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You drove down to Queens Boulevard. There was a white van in front of a McDonald's on Queens Boulevard. You pulled up. You went to that white van. You gave him $100, and he gave you something.
Yeah.
And then you just connected it, and wow. The Spice Channel?
That was
Unscrambled?
Yep.
Wild
and every
times.
pay-per-view.
And every pay-per-view?
Yeah.
I'll never forget the time that my
pay-per-view.
parents were like, "Hey, you want to watch a dinosaur movie? It's on pay-per-view." And I was like, "Yeah." So they set me up in the room. I was like 6, 7 years old. They set me up in the room. It was a dinosaur porno.
Uh-oh.
About Tarzan and Jane living with the dinosaurs.
Oh, it wasn't called Jurassic Pork?
It was not called Jurassic Park, but this is before Jurassic Park existed.
Okay.
How long ago this was. Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Matt Reichel, friend of the show. Is it possible that WWE signs all of Cody's people? They already signed Jade. Could they sign Starks and MJF? That's a big
those
question.
are all the names. Those are all the names that I've always heard.
Yeah.
So there you go. The Ricky's a name that I've heard 1,000 times. They're very impressed by him. Max, I don't even have to say it again. Everybody knows he's super impressive, and they love his ability. Jade is there. So if you have the opportunity to grab any of these people, including Max or Ricky, why would you not? They're great.
Agreed. I think WWE could put that train behind them, that wagon behind them, and do whatever they do to make them that much bigger, right?
Yeah.
This is from Wrestling Joe. Andrew, do you want to make wrestling scoops into more of a career for yourself on the side, or are you still enjoying just dipping in and out with the occasional bomb?
I like dipping in and out with the occasional bomb. I like this not being a career for me.
Right.
I like not... I think this is how I think, right? Like a guy like Sean and a guy like Dave, this is their livelihood. This is what they're great at. They're really good at this job. Regardless of what you think of them personally, I don't give a shit, to be honest. I'm going based on work rate, ethics, longevity. Everybody gets something wrong every now and then. I think it's far more difficult when you have to do this for a living, right?
Right.
You have to do this for a living. I would say there's probably 5 people, and that's stretching it, that I would say are trustworthy in this business with reporting this stuff. And everybody else just sometimes they get stuff and they throw it out there and they hope for the best. I think that happens a ton.
Right.
With what I do, I don't have that pressure to get a scoop because my livelihood doesn't depend on that.
Right.
Could I do it if I wanted to? Yeah, I'm sure I could do it. Would I do it at the same level of someone like Sean or Dave? Probably not. I would never want to do it at that level.
That's a big time commitment.
That's a big time commitment. That's them for years and years of, they're actual journalists. They know what they're doing. I'm in a very unique position in life.
You're a journal fan.
I have friends that work in very good places, and they happen to know things, and my day-to-day life allows me access to these people. So I love doing it. I love doing it the way I do it. I don't, I withhold on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Tons of stuff that I don't feel like I should ever talk about. It's not my place to talk about it. And I feel comfortable doing that. And I don't get an FU from people because this isn't my livelihood. This isn't my job.
Right.
This is what I enjoy doing. Like, this is one of the most fun moments for me in my entire week. Doing this with Rich, talking to you guys, doing Observer, doing it with Garrett, because I don't have any pressure. And sometimes I don't hear stuff. Sometimes I don't call anybody for weeks. And I'm
right.
like, whatever, dude, I love doing it. I don't think I would ever go into it full time as a career to be a scoop guy, but I don't know what next year brings me,
Yeah. Also, this ain't Baskin Robbins. You don't get paid by the scoop.
I don't get paid by the scoop. Only when you guys super chat me. That's when I get paid by the scoop. I hope that answers.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of which, guys, just super chat us.
Yeah.
And throw in your socials in the chat. Guys.
Yeah. 995-223 9797. We're dropping bombs here.
Let's see. Got Cadillac Carson. What do you say to the idea of the masked men being MJF and the 4 Seinfelds?
Jerry, hold on. George, what are you doing? I'm wearing the mask, Jerry. I got the mask on. I'm the devil. It's Puck.
I'm into it, Jerry. I'm into
I'm the devil.
You know what episode was on the other day? Seinfeld's been on TV like a lot.
Yeah.
These last few months.
We live in New York. It's on every channel.
It's on every channel. It's on your iPhones. It's on your Apple Watches. When you close your eyelids, it's on the back of your eyelids. The George dating female Jerry episode.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Great one where she ends up cutting her hair at the end and looks just like Jerry.
Yeah, fucking great. So good. The hand one was a good one. The hand, the one with the giant hands.
Oh yeah. The hand one. I thought you meant the one with George hand modeling, which was also a great one.
George's hand modeling one was great too. Yeah, George's father had no time for that.
Yeah.
Frank Costanza did not give a shit.
This is another one from Hogan. Ranch it up. Did you guys see the Pillman vignette?
Yeah. I'm curious what they do with him. I hope he has a successful career there.
Yeah. And this is another one from Brian Knight. It was very interesting. Is Brian Pillman Jr. a Cody guy too?
I don't know that. That's a good question. I can find out. I'm not sure.
That's a good one. Let's do one more and then you got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's look for a good one.
She's got man hands, Jerry.
Got man hands, Jerry. What is the contract status of Deonna Purrazzo and Camille?
I don't know. Great question. I can find that out.
Okay, that is a good question. Josh in the chat room. What's going on, Josh?
Which Josh?
Coleman.
Cole?
Do you know another Josh?
Yeah. I know multiple Joshes.
Josh has a question. What a lovely Friday. Have you talked about who's wearing the masks at the end of AEW? Yeah. 5 Dolph Zigglers.
5 Dolph. Dude, oh, yeah. What if it's Dolph?
Dolph would be great. I feel like that would be just
Isn't that a
theme song from Ruckus and Andrew Zarian. I think a Dolph Ziggler would be great. You know, he gets reunited with his brother. They could be like the Ziggler twins.
The Ziggler twins.
Yeah.
Zigglers.
The Zigglers.
Ziggle.
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam. Dolph Ziggler. Sabu.
Oh, are they
Sandman.
all part of this? Is that the crew?
Oh, yeah. This is how they introduce ECW 3.0.
Oh, my God. I never want to see that again. I never want to see an ECW reunion show again. I think we've gotten plenty. I'm full.
We'll just groaned at the same time.
Have the Cons, namely Shad, had partners for any of their other sports ventures? IIRC, are they the sole owner of the Jags?
I don't know, but that's easy to disclose. A lot of teams have minority ownership. People have minority ownership.
I believe he's the principal
sole
owner.
He's the principal owner,
So,
but I'm
right.
sure somebody has a little piece here and there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know the structure, but that's all public. You can find that really easily.
Here's a good question to end the show on.
Yeah.
Is there any truth to the rumors that Asuka's retiring? Saw a thing about her and Charlotte hugging at house shows.
I haven't. I haven't heard anything officially. I don't know. I mean, she's still there. What can she do? She is. How old is she? Asuka's 42.
40. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
What a beautiful woman, inside and out.
Oh,
Everything
yeah.
I hear about her is fantastic.
She's
What a
great,
talent. Yeah. She's great. I don't know. I don't know about those rumors. I think it could just be rumors. It could just be them teasing something.
Mm-hmm.
I hope not. I'd love to see more of her.
Yeah.
She really, I mean, if you think about it, I got to say, WWE in the last 10 years has done such a great job with creating relatable, top-tier female talent in that company.
Yes.
Way better than the men, I'm going to tell you.
I agree.
And I don't know if that was because they hadn't done it before. They just hadn't attempted to do it this way, and that's why we were able to get so many top-level female acts in that company.
I think so. And they have a lot of top-level female acts, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. And even like the mid-card talent, they're all success stories for them.
Yep.
I'm not saying anything like Alexa Bliss, right? Alexa was a success story for them. She's not in that top 5, but
right.
She had world title wins, major feuds, major storylines. They just
crowd loved her.
I feel like crowd loved her. It morphed into them. It did.
Uh-oh.
It happened.
It happens every so often.
But even like a Mandy Rose, right? Mandy went there. They tried a couple things, and then she went down to NXT, and she was awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they
do
know
a great job. Yeah,
yeah. They know what to do, and then they like.
I have a follow-up question to that.
Zelina, here's a great example. Zelina wasn't doing anything, and then they decided that they want to do something with her, and they figured it out.
There you go.
Yeah.
Noob and Company.
Yeah.
Am I reading this or are you reading this?
You go ahead and read it.
With Jade Cargill signed with WWE, which other female wrestler from other promotions will sign with WWE? Natalia Markova, Mariah May, Julia, Camille, Megan Bain. I don't see Julia getting signed by WWE. I feel like she could do like a nice stint in AEW first.
I don't know. I think Julia is promising.
Mariah May too.
Who?
Mariah May.
Mariah May, yeah, another promising talent.
Camille in NXT would be fun.
Camille in NXT would be fun. Yeah, I think all of them are promising. I don't know what they're planning on doing with the developmental stuff. Actually, to be honest, I've been very relaxed with asking about people signing and going. That's why I haven't reported anything. But yeah, they're all. I can see all of them. Developmental is very different because they mold you. They make you into something. So it doesn't matter what you've done or what you look like or how you're doing. When you go to developmental, they're going to redo you anyway. They're going to
break you down and build you up again. Yeah.
Are we done?
I think we're done, baby.
That's it. All right.
That's it,
guys. It is terrible out. It is like torrential downpour, flooding. It's really, really bad.
It's pretty awful.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. All right. That's it. We are out of here. Until next time, America. Be strong and God bless. Take care.